Hey, what's up everybody? I did this video earlier in the day, and unfortunately I got a little distracted because I was doing the video on my way, while I was on my way walking down to Blockbuster and to some other stores. Now the video I did and I'm going to do now is basically a video talking about or asking the question why. And that question of why is, why do people keep games and movies that they rent from places like Blockbuster, Hastings, Hollywood Video, or any other video store out there, local or national, out longer than they should. Basically have them out past their due dates. And to the point that sometimes they end up buying that game or that movie. Well, the reason I say this is because I know of somebody, and this somebody knows who they are. His family, or their family, rented the top game right now on the Xbox 360, the PS3, and the Wii, and that's Black Ops. Now, lately, Blockbuster, a place like Blockbuster, where they got this game from, has a limit of now 3.5 days. They used to do 5.5, and then before that, they did about 7.5. But now they're doing 3.5 days because they're doing 99-cent rentals, $2.99 new release rentals, as well as $6 rentals on games. The only reason I can think they're doing this right now is because it's the holidays, but there's another reason. You see, I read this online, and basically, according to what I read online, you can Google this if you want, Blockbuster officials, the people in charge, the overall people in charge of Blockbuster, have decided that those that keep the games and the movies out longer than they should, and basically way past their due dates, are keeping away the games and movies from other people to enjoy. In other words, they're not allowing other people that would like to say rent this game, which I've rented for about the third time, I believe. This is my third time renting it. To the point that, they're being selfish. In other words, what I was trying to say is, like I say, somebody might want to rent this game, and let's say, here's an example. The Blockbuster store where I live at, has about 3 to 4 copies, or 3 to 4 of these cardboard representations of the game laid out, 3 to 4 to maybe 5 of them. And they have maybe about 3 to 4, basically about 3 overall sometimes, of each game, of the same game, all lined up, if they have it. Well, basically what the policy is, according to what I've understood, is, from what I read, like I was saying, is that the reason they have constantly changed from 7 days, from the unlimited to the 7 to the 5 to back to 3, is because, like I said, to them, there are those out there that are renting these games, renting the movies, and keeping them longer than they should, past their due dates, to the point that they're not allowing anybody else to come in, rent them, and enjoy them. So that's why policies have changed. But that's also why I believe people like to keep these out longer than they should, to the point that if they're not careful, they're going to end up buying it. And that's exactly what happened with said person's family. They rented this game, and because said person didn't return it when they should have, or didn't allow their family to return it when they should have, they have obviously now bought the game. And they were planning on giving this game to said person for Christmas. Now, they could still accomplish this goal. Because apparently what I found out today, because I asked the lady there at my local Blockbuster, she said as long as they can get it in 10 days after, within 10 days after possibly purchasing it, they could still get the money back. But also, they could call up Blockbuster and see how much it would be to buy it. But said person's family has said that they don't really want to get it from Blockbuster. They'd rather get it from another place. But I'll just have to let said person's family know about that and see what happens from there. But I know that this person that I talk about is not the only one that does this. No. There's a lot of people that do this. And there's a reason for it. There's a reason I believe that they do this. The reason I believe that they keep these movies and these games out longer than they should, even with the changing of the policies to kind of cut down on people keeping movies and games longer than they should, the reason they do it is because they're trying to send a message. And that message is to places like Blockbuster, Hastings, and Hollywood Video, and whatever other video stores are out there. And that message is, hey, you want us to stop? You give us what we want. And I believe what they ultimately want is for places like Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, Hastings, and any other video store out there to do exactly what Netflix and GameFly does, or mainly Netflix does, and that's allow them to have the games and the movies as long as they want without any late fees. That's about it. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. Now, I know you're probably watching this video and you're saying, well, they already do that with their mail-in rentals, right? Yeah, they do. They do that with their mail-in rentals. But, here's the thing. If you want to rent a new game, like today, I rented not just SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, but I also rented the Wii version of Michael Jackson The Experience. But I don't have it here. You know why? Because I rented it through an option that not many people probably know of because they don't ask about it. And that is, when you go to a Blockbuster, on the side of each aisle, whether it's mostly game aisles basically, you will see these yellow cardboard boxes, these orange cardboard representatives of the game, or representations of the game that you want to rent. Now what you do is you take that cardboard representation, or that cardboard representative of the game you want, up to the cashier. They ring it up like it's a regular rental. It might be a cent or two more. And then they give you exactly the date of when you're going to receive it. And instead of keeping it for just 3.5 days, you could keep it for about a week and then return it and possibly get like credit for it. If not, basically when you return it to their store instead of mailing it in, you get credit for it, kind of like a coupon credit, I believe. And again, I believe that's one thing some people just don't understand. You want to keep the games as long as you want, for maybe up to a week, possibly, so you could at least master a lot of the things. That's the direction I believe you should go. That way, you could avoid basically keeping the game out longer than it should be away from the store. Now I know that kind of sounds complicated. Well, I don't blame anybody for thinking it's complicated. Do you know why? Because it sounds complicated to me. Because let's take a look at it from an online perspective. You go to Blockbuster.com and you do the online rentals there. Not only can you rent movies, but you can rent games now there. The only problem is, let's say you want to rent this game online, right? Well, see, unlike a site like GameFly, where you can automatically rent this depending on if they have a high quantity of it, where you can automatically rent that, like I said, right off the bat, depending on the quantity or the availability. With Blockbuster Online, you basically have to wait another 2 months, basically till February, to rent that thing. That's right, you gotta wait till February to rent that game online. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. It's absolutely true. And you might say to yourself, well, now you might ask yourself, well, wait a minute. Why do we have to wait months for the game to come out? Why must we wait months to rent the game online? I'm from Blockbuster, when we can rent it automatically from Blockbuster with these orange cardboard representatives or representations of the game. Well, it's like I said. That is that is the disadvantage. Well, basically that's the point I'm getting at. To me, the people that keep these games and movies out the longest, that's the disadvantage they look at if they try to do things online with Blockbuster. Because certain movies and games won't be available for rental from their site until a certain time. Well, you go into a store and they're automatically ready to go. Even if, like I said, you got to take a yellow or take an orange cardboard representation of the game over to the clerk, check it out that way, and have it mailed to you. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it's true. It's absolutely true. That's the only way you could ever have anything like this done. Now, like I said, I believe, honestly, that the reason people do this is because they want Blockbuster to go back to the unlimited rental deals at the stores, or at least a 7 days a week deal. But here's what I also think they want to do. But here's what I also think a lot of people want. You see, I know a lot of people don't like the fact that they have to go and rent a game and have to return it within a time limit, like I said, and before they can really master it. That's why some people, like I said, probably have taken this Black Ops game and kept it as long as they can, to the point that they ended up buying it. You know, I know a lot of people don't like having to do this I know a lot of people don't like doing this, you know, at all. I know some people don't like keeping the rentals out longer than they should and past their due dates, to the point that they'll charge $1 a day or the same amount they paid the week before when they rented it. I know they don't like that. Nor do they like the fact that, you know, deep down basically what I'm saying is, I don't think they overall like the feeling of keeping the games and movies longer than they should, knowing that, one, financially it's going to hurt them a little bit, not badly, not too badly, unless they keep it to the point that they buy it. But I know, in a way, they kind of feel the same way the people at Blockbuster do, and that is, hey, we're keeping this away from other people from enjoying it. Let's go return it. That's why I feel they'll also, by doing this, by keeping these games and movies out longer than they should, especially the games, I believe what they're doing is they're sending a message, not just to Blockbuster, to, you know, change their policies to either unlimited or at least 7 days a week or whatever, to not just Hastings to do the same thing, and not just Hollywood Video and other video outlets out there, but they're sending a strong message to a place like, say, Netflix. I mean, because for months and for years, people have been wondering when Netflix would get into the gaming wars, or get into the gaming picture. People want Netflix to start offering games, because they know that the GameFly, which is the Netflix for video games, you know, it follows the same policy as Netflix. It lets you keep the games, the 2 games that you rent, the 2 to 3 games that you rent, for as long as you want. But the only difference is when you can't pay your membership, you have to return the games. Because if you don't return the games, you end up buying them. That's right, if you don't return the games at a set point, you end up buying them unless you renew your membership. Unlike Netflix, to where if you can't pay for your membership the month that month, you still get to keep the movies and you don't get charged a thing. They don't charge you for buying them or anything. They just let you keep them like regular rentals. And that's what I believe this is all about. It's not just the fact that people want Blockbuster to go back to what they did before, which, you know, allowed them to have almost a 7-day a week or unlimited rental, limited time rental of game and movie, but they want Netflix to do the same thing. It's not just a message to Blockbuster, it's a message to Netflix, it's a message to Hastings, it's a message to Hollywood Video and any other video outlet out there, in-store or online. It's a message to all of them to say, hey, we want unlimited rental. We want to keep the game or movie as long as we want on, to the point that when we beat it, then we'll return it. Or if we get bored with it, then we'll return it. That's what this is all about. To me, honestly, I believe that's what this is about. That's why I believe people keep games like this longer than they should. But up to the point that they almost buy them, because it's not just the fact that, you know, it's not just the fact that they want to buy them or get charged $60 or whatever because they kept it too long. No, they want to send a message, and that message is loud and clear. Make changes to the policies to where we can enjoy they can enjoy games and movies a lot longer than what is advertised. That's why they're doing this. That's why they do this. Nobody sees it, but that's why they're doing this. You know, I could be wrong. But I believe that's why they're doing this. But there's a saving grace. There is an honest saving grace. You know what that saving grace is? You do what I do, and what many people do. You take the game, you know, and I'll be honest, you know, I kept the game. When I rented this the first 2 times, I kept it over its due date, but as soon as they gave me the call, I returned it. That's what I do. And sometimes I will return it on its due date. But here's what you do so you don't end up getting charged. If you do keep it to the point that you get the call from the video store, here's what you do. You go to said video store, you return the game, and if they don't have any more copies, you tell them about the game you checked back in, and tell them you want to check it out again. That way, you don't get charged a price, an overdue price. You don't get charged $1 a day. You don't get charged the full price of the game end up buying it or anything like that. No, you just get charged a regular rental price for the game by re-renting it. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And like I said, it all depends. If they have, like today I went there and they had about two or three these boxes left. So I ended up renting it again. No problem. I didn't have to go to the service lady and say, hey, I want to re-rent the game I just turned back in. Because well, one, they don't have a problem with that. But that way she doesn't have to, you know, dig through all the game rental and movie rentals that got turned in. Now, again though, it all depends on your video outlet. If a place like Hastings or a place like Hollywood Video doesn't have as much, and the one copy that they have is the one you returned in, all you have to do is go to the clerk and say, hey, I want to re-rent the game I turned back in, and they'll have no problem with it. Unless of course someone probably reserved it, which it would be highly unlikely, seeing as though reserves don't really last that much, are really not known that much anymore. I could be wrong there too, but anyway, it's as simple as that though. It's as simple as that. Now I know you're thinking, well, why don't people do that? It's because, like I said, it's one of the things. It's just like I mentioned earlier with the cardboard representations of the games like Michael Jackson The Experience that you could take up to the clerk and check out there and have it mailed to your house. They don't think about it. They don't think about it for a second. The only thing they think about is playing it as long as they want and not caring for the fact that they might get charged. Well, they do care, but not, caring for the fact at the moment that they might get charged a lot if they keep it as long as they want to. That's the whole thing. So, overall, I believe, again, what's being done here is they're trying to send a message to Blockbuster, send a message to Netflix, and places like Hollywood Video and Hastings that, hey, you want us to stop keeping these movies out as long as we want? Give us unlimited rentals. Give us 7 days a week rentals or something like that. Or go back to your 5 days. That's what that's the message they're trying to send. Not that I'm saying it's a bad message, but I believe, honestly, that by sending that message, they feel that in their hearts, the customers' hearts that do this, that places like Blockbuster, places like Blockbuster, Hastings, and Hollywood Video do this, then they won't have to worry about them charging anybody anymore, and that they might get more rentals returned, because people would have an unlimited time to play other games and watch other movies without no problem. So, but again, my honest opinion, you want to play the same game, just turn it in either when you got the call, either when you get the call from Blockbuster, or return it on its due date, and just re-rent it one more time. That's all you have to do. So, if you got any comments on this video, let me know. Let me know if you've experienced anything like this, and I'll talk to you all later. God bless. Peace out. Hope you enjoyed the tree.